Everyone, good afternoon. This is just a reminder that as usual, we are providing simultaneous Spanish interpretation and as well as ASL. So if your preferred language is ASL, I'm going to provide you with some instructions right now. If you're joining with a computer, once the feature is on, you'll see a globe at the bottom of your screen. Please select the globe and select ASL. If you're joining with a cell phone or a tablet, your options will be a bit different. You need to tap your screen, find the menu with the three dots, either on top or at the bottom of your screen, select interpretation, and select ASL. If you need any help, you can let us know in the chat so we can assist you with that. Now I'm going to give my instructions in Spanish. Buenas tardes a todos, bienvenidos. Este es un recordatorio de que, como siempre, estamos proveyendo interpretación simultánea al español para esta reunión. Una vez que la interpretación sea encendida, si usted ingresó utilizando una computadora, va a ver el icono de un mundo en la parte de abajo de su pantalla. Por favor, seleccione ese icono y seleccione el canal de español. Si usted ingresó con un teléfono móvil o con una tableta, sus opciones se van a ver un poco diferentes. Necesita tocar su pantalla y va a buscar el menú de los tres puntitos, ya sea en la parte de arriba o abajo de su dispositivo. Seleccione donde dice interpretación. Después seleccione español y por último el botón que dice done, listo o finalizado. Si necesita ayuda, puede dejar sabernos en el chat para poderle asistir. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. We can start interpretation now.
Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome to the Altadena Community Meeting. We have some presentations today and then we will answer questions that have been pre-submitted by community members. Zoom attendees can submit questions in real time using the question and answer function found on their screens. Agency representatives are on the Zoom meeting and responding to these questions live. Note that questions submitted on the YouTube live chat will not be answered. If you are tuning in on YouTube, I encourage you to scan the QR code on your screen and join us on the Zoom platform. With that, Supervisor Barger, the floor is yours.
Thank you, and thank you for joining us this afternoon for our weekly community meeting. I have a few updates I'm eager to share about the efforts we have underway. I've mentioned before that we are introducing AI tools to speed up the permitting process. Thanks to the state's partnership and resources, we're launching this software tomorrow, July 15th, and are adding more staff to keep pace with the volume of applications. I am hopeful that this will be an important tool in our toolbox that will get the permits approved at a much faster rate. I'm also glad to share that through the Department of Economic Opportunity, we've launched the Shop Local, Dine Local, Recover Local campaign. Altadena businesses need support more than ever. Through this campaign, we're going to drive more foot traffic to business quarters in Altadena to help them stabilize and ultimately succeed. This campaign is two-pronged. For residents, the goal is to spotlight local businesses in Altadena to help the community get its momentum back every time they shop and dine. Customers are encouraged to sign the Shop Local pledge to affirm their commitment to support local businesses. Importantly, the campaign also offers direct support to businesses. Business owners in Altadena can join the Recover Local Business Directory to garner more business. Businesses will benefit from prominent digital and video marketing promotions that draw attention and attract new customers. Residents and businesses can visit shoplocal.la to get involved. Again, at shoplocal, all one word, .la to get involved. And lastly, I'm happy to share that we'll be joined this afternoon by Dr. Lisa Wong, Director of our Department of Mental Health. I know the impacts of the Eaton fire continue to have ripple effects that impact residents' well-being. The stress, trauma, anguish, and grief are very real and at times can be very overwhelming. Los Angeles County is here to offer support as you continue to work through these emotions during the recovery process. Whether it's through mental health care, business resources, or logistical help with rebuilding, please know that the county continues to stand ready as a source of support for every Altadena resident. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. And now we transition to our presentations for the evening. Our first presentation is from the Army Corps of Engineers, Colonel Abichel.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Supervisor, for allowing me to speak today. As normal, I will give general updates and then I'll hit a few specific topics. So for awareness here, just talking big numbers. Those that have opted in, the number is 5,598, and those that have opted out is 530 personnel. In terms of cleared properties, we have 5,508, where 98% of those that have opted in have been cleared of fire ash debris. And then as of today, we have completed and returned the right of entry back to the county for 5,435 properties, which is right around 97%. There are currently 12 debris crews working right now in Altadena. And then just a couple key topics here. So the Altadena golf course, really we have stopped bringing any incoming trucks. So that operation is shut down and we have cleaned up the majority of the equipment on site. Right now, all that's remaining is just a few piles of mulch in the back and then some of the scales. So again, we're on schedule for us to be able to continue with the with removing our equipment and then beginning site restoration probably at the end of the month or beginning of next month. And again, we're working closely with LA County Parks and Recreations through this entire process. And then lastly, I'll talk about the Elliott School. Again, this will probably be the last debris removal project that will happen within Altadena. Again, the total time to do this is around 3 months, so that should put us mid to late September for completion. And it remains on schedule. If you drive up Lake Avenue and you look off to your right, you'll see a lot of progress has been made. The auditorium is mostly down right now. So again, that will remain to be our last project here within Altadena. And as always, thanks for your partnership, and I will remain on the line for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel. Our next presentation is from the Department of Public Works. Kiara, go ahead.
Great, thanks. And I'll give you a moment there to load the slides. Thank you. Great, and thanks for having me this afternoon. Again, I'm Kira Barnett, Assistant Deputy Director with Public Works. And if we could go to the next slide, please. So this is a snapshot from today. As of this week, we continue to see progress across all phases of permitting, plan checks, and approvals. We remain committed to expediting approvals, and rebuild projects will be reviewed in 10 business days for initial reviews and 5 business days for any additional reviews. So this dashboard has been updated as of last week to include additional information on permit types. So as you go across the top, you'll see how many 1,015 applications received by LA County, how many planning have cleared, which is 684. When people are ready to progress with their full building plans, we have 446 submittals progressed into building review and 93 permits issued. And from the time from initial application to permit issuance is 55 days. And I have a slide a little bit later on showing where some of those projects are in the process. But again, new fields here in this dashboard that can be found on our recovery.lacounty.gov site under rebuilding, and under resources, our dashboard, we have added permit types. So you can now see the breakdown in how many single family homes, how many accessory dwelling units, accessory structures, multifamily homes, and non-residential commercial properties. And there's also some maps on there that you can see where you can click and see where that progress is occurring for both rebuilding and temporary housing. And I just wanted to highlight at the bottom of the page there, you can see a guide that's linked for more information on what some of the data that's shown here means or reflects. And we've also added a more detailed breakdown. So if you really want to click and find out where these projects are in the process, you can click where it says weekly snapshot. And again, I'll highlight one of the tables that you can find there. But if we could move to our next slide, please. Important update from last week, Governor Newsom's July 7th executive order temporarily suspends certain building code requirements and permitting laws to streamline and speed up the rebuilding process. This includes exemptions from stricter 2025 building codes, which will take effect on January 1st, 2026. So there are some exemptions for residential from the new codes. However, there are some fire safety and flood requirements that are still in effect. So new fire code requirements will need to still be met, but some exemptions again for residential from the updates to the building code. And also importantly, there's suspensions for rooftop solar and battery storage installation requirements. There are still requirements to be solar ready. So solar ready standards do apply where the structure is ready, has that conduit and everything for potential future install. But again, the installation of rooftop solar and battery storage installations has been suspended. And if we can move to the next slide, please. So this just clarifies a little bit on the eligibility. So again, this applies to homes that were substantially damaged or destroyed in the January 2025 wildfires. It covers repair, restoration, demolition, or replacement of structures with those code suspensions. So what this means is that rebuilding will be simpler, more affordable, and more flexible. And if we can move to the next slide, please. So again, the diagram here on the right shows the stages as a project moves through the permitting process from clearing debris through permitting and moving in. And some areas where we see that plans are, again, so we report from time of receipt to time of issuance, but there is time in there where the designers are finalizing or revising plans based on comments received. Homeowners are still making decisions, design decisions, and so there are some changes to layout or materials sometimes on the plans that the designers are working on before they resubmit. So again, I'll show you the next slide. We'll have a table with how many projects have received comments. And again, understanding the designers take some time to address those and resubmit. And then sometimes we have plans cleared and there's some agencies that may still be required, such as a water will serve letter. And so I'll highlight those as well. But just want to highlight that this does reflect the collaborative back and forth nature of the rebuild process between the county and design professionals. And if we can move to the next slide, please. So again, to the dashboard, we've added some additional detail if you'd like to click and see where plans are in the process, what stage in the process. So this one for the Eaton fire shows again, and this is it's updated weekly, this data. So as of close of business on Wednesdays, so this data would be from July 9th. At that time, there was 978 applications received to LA County. Zoning planning had reviewed and returned with comments, a certain number of those. Shows you here how many are pending pending review, how many have been cleared. We do the same thing for fire, for public health if you're in a private sewage treatment system. And then again, for public works, how many projects have been received. We do have some that came into building but maybe didn't have the full building plans prepared. How many are pending their initial review, and we do show there how many are in for resubmittal and how many are in review. And then closing out there's a table that shows our turnaround times for each of the departments. So again, each of the departments meeting that 10 days on initial reviews, and then Public Works does show there that rechecks, resubmittals have been processed within 3 business days. And if we could move to the next slide, please. So just a reminder about fee deferrals. So again, they are fee waivers and that they will not be paid back to the county. That's a fee deferral while we identify another funding source. So we do now have a fee waiver and refund request form. So this is since the Board of Supervisors approved the policy to defer and refund permit fees for eligible homeowners rebuilding in unincorporated areas affected by the Eaton fire. So to qualify for a fee waiver or refund, applicants must be able to demonstrate that they both owned and lived in the property before January 7th, 2025. And so we do have a form again on our recovery.lacounty.gov website under rebuilding. We have under permitting side, you'll see a fee waiver or refund webpage. So you'll find the form there and it can be submitted to recovery.planning.lacounty.gov, or it can be received at our one-stop permit center. And so only one form is required to be submitted to the county. And then the county will internally route it to make sure as you've progressed in projects, if you paid fees to other permit departments, those will be refunded also. And as an update, we have received 310 forms for refund to date. And we have emailed all applicants that have initiated the process the form. And so we continue to receive those requests for waivers or refunds as people initiate or continue in the process. And I think that concludes my slides. We'll check on the next one. And I thank you all for your time today.
Thank you, Kiara. And our next presentation is from DCBA. Kevin, go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank you, Supervisor Barger, for the opportunity to share an update from the Department of Consumer and Business Affairs. I'm Kevin Chavez, Public Information Officer for the LA County Department of Consumer and Business Affairs. I'm glad to give you a brief update about price gouging and how LA County is working to protect you. Price gouging is the act of raising prices of goods and services over 10% immediately preceding and then following an officially declared emergency. Price gouging is illegal. There are state and local laws to protect the public from price gouging after a declared emergency. And our Board of Supervisors has been busy strengthening those protections. More on that in just a bit. Price gouging protections can cover many goods and services, including food, gasoline, emergency and medical supplies, repairs, construction, storage facilities, rental housing, short-term rentals, hotels, motels, animal boarding facilities, and other lodging. Now, failure to comply with California's price gouging laws can result in fines of up to $50,000 or 1 year in jail or both. Now, last month, the Board of Supervisors extended LA County's price gouging protections with regards to housing until the end of this month, July 31st of 2025, and a related executive order from Governor Newsom regarding long-term stays in hotels and motels extends some of those protections to October 1st. So if you were displaced and are living in a rental, hotel, motel, short-term housing, Airbnb, you are still protected under state and local price gouging laws. Now, these actions are particularly critical and timely since some of you who were displaced by the fire may have signed a 6-month lease on a rental that may now be up for renewal. So any price increase on a rental will then have to align with the current price gouging protections. Now, here at DCBA, we accept complaints of suspected price gouging. We've seen a range of complaints related to services like construction, retail sales and purchases, real estate documents and loans. But of the thousands of price gouging complaints we've received this year, about 90% are related to rent increases. So we will continue to investigate suspected rental price gouging and ensure that all increases are in accordance with the law. And if not, we'll work with our partners in law enforcement and prosecuting agencies to hold those who choose to exploit fire victims accountable. Now, investigating price gouging is not easy, but one of our most powerful tools is the use of subpoena authority, which allows DCBA investigators to obtain documentation, including pricing histories, to determine if illegal price increases have occurred. And on the agenda for tomorrow's board meeting, the Board of Supervisors will continue its commitment to further protect consumers from price gouging with a new motion from Supervisors Barger and Horvath to help DCBA more swiftly and effectively enforce price gouging protections through citations and administering fines for violation and non-compliance with investigations. There'll be more details about this in the weeks ahead, but we at DCBA thank the Board of Supervisors for the opportunity, for giving us the tools we need to better protect our communities now and in the future. So for anyone who suspects that they might be a victim of price gouging, 2 things. First, keep as much documentation as possible. That could be receipts, advertisements, screenshots or photos that contain a price, anything to help with your case. And then second, please file a complaint with us here at DCBA. You can call us by phone at 800-593-8222 or go online at dcba.lacounty.gov. Thanks so much.
Thank you for that very helpful information, Kevin. Moving on to our next presentation with the Department of Insurance. Rob, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Rob Obedoza with the California Department of Insurance. Thank you again to Supervisor Barger and her team for putting on these meetings and allowing me to just give a brief update. I don't have too much new in the way of news from the Department of Insurance, but just want to, of course, give everyone a reminder to, if you are having any issues insurance-wise with your insurance company, please give us a call and start the request for assistance process at 1-800-927-4357. As a result of the numerous complaints and issues we've seen from insurance companies, of course, this has led to us with the investigation into State Farm's business practices in the aftermath of these fires with respect to the numerous different complaints, numerous adjusters, inconsistencies, smoke damage, and so forth. And the only reason we are able to take action by law with State Farm is because we've heard so many of you file a request for assistance with us, and we're able to follow through on those complaints. But, you know, although State Farm is the largest insurance company, we've received the most complaints for them. Any insurance company that you're having issues with, make sure to give us a call. So far, since January, the Department of Insurance has assisted in recovering over $67 million to wildfire survivors through the request for assistance process. So please, if you are having any issues, please contact us and we can help you out. But that's all the updates I have for you today. I'll be sure to make you guys keep you guys informed in the future as well for any updates. But for now, I'll stick around to answer any questions. But thank you for your time.
Thank you, Rob. Moving on to our next presentation from the Department of Economic Opportunity, Kelly or Layla, whoever will be presenting first.
Thank you, everybody. I'm Kelly LoBianco, Director of the LA County Department of Economic Opportunity, and we are going to present very briefly on the Shop Local campaign, making sure that local businesses know how to sign up for this recently launched program. Layla, I'll shoot it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Layla Lee. I'm the Assistant Director here at the Department of Economic Opportunity, and it's my pleasure to share with you the Shop Local, Dine Local, Recover Local campaign, which we launched on July 7th. For those of you who were here last week, you probably heard a little bit, but hopefully today I can give you some updates and also provide you some other information. So just to recap, the reason why we really focused on this was that we found that most businesses that were impacted by the fires found that they incurred reduced sales and customer traffic. In fact, over 50% reported having more than a 50% decrease in consumer traffic. In addition to that, we know that small businesses are still kind of recovering from COVID, the entertainment strikes, and other disasters. So with that, Supervisor Barger really focused on establishing a regional public campaign that will encourage the idea of a Shop Local, Dine Local, Recover Local campaign that will encourage consumers to support local businesses, as well as incentivize everyone to visit these businesses. And with that, we joined several cities and organizations to launch this campaign. And just to recap, some of the things that we're really focusing on is everything from a social media campaign to traditional advertising, which will start going up next month. We're also hoping we started on the campaign pledge. Since we launched last week, we saw a huge uptick in the numbers, a quarter of which are actually residents in Altadena. We do ask everybody that pledges to kind of just let us know like what zip code they're from, and so we are able to track that as well. So it's really great to see community support towards the campaign. We also seen we've seen an uptick on business enrollment, but we do want to get more Altadena businesses to sign up because we've had some from like Pasadena, from Sierra Madre, etc. But we would like to see more from Altadena itself as well. And then we saw we are working our business directory. When that's done, we're also hoping to release our toolkit pretty soon, as well as some incentive programs to really encourage consumers to visit these locations. If you didn't see that already, please visit bit.ly/shoplocal press release, just to read the press release that we released last week. In addition to that, again, what we hope to do going forward, and we're rapidly putting it in social media, is really focusing on how to get the word out. If you have partners in Altadena that want to be part of this, we ask that you also join us. Last week I joined, and we're going to actually be joining the Altadena Chamber every week. For those of you who are Altadena businesses that have not joined the chamber, they do host a meeting every Friday at 9:30 a.m. The Department of Economic Opportunity will be there every week as well. For a 30-minute conversation. Is actually called chat coffee with businesses in Altadena. And so we do encourage everyone to attend, and the Zoom link can be found on their website at altadenachamber.org. And in addition to that, we're also, again, asking everyone to please, pledge to shop local, because as soon as the incentives become available, we will send these incentives to those that pledge. We're asking everyone to please post, follow, and like, and use the hashtag #ShopLocalLA. And lastly, please share and ask every business that you know in the area to join this campaign to ensure that they provide incentives. They are listed in our directory, and they also receive our toolkit. There's going to be, again, a physical toolkit and a virtual toolkit that they will be receiving. And this is the area that we're talking about, that of businesses that will qualify for this very targeted outreach to these businesses. And these are the businesses that we're really, really hoping to help through this process. And here's a overview of what the benefits are to these businesses. Again, it's promotion of these businesses. We're going to also be reaching out to them to do videos of the business and put them on social media, and really do all we can to promote them. We hope to provide incentives to customers to purchase from these businesses. We're hoping to provide these toolkits that they can utilize to promote themselves and connect them to all available resources. And so thank you so much. I'll leave you, this is my last slide, just as a reminder to just please pledge. Please use this hashtag #ShopLocalLA. And if you know anyone that's interested in donating, we're also accepting donations at this time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And our last presentation of the evening is from the Department of Mental Health. Dr. Wong, please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Lisa Wong, the Director of Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health. And thank you, Supervisor Barger, for your unwavering, relentless, hard-forward support of this community, and for the opportunity today to share about some important mental health resources. So first and foremost, I want to acknowledge the immense challenges that so many continue to face 6 months after the fires. My team and I were on the scene since the first morning and heard firsthand from residents about the devastation they experienced. We knew, however, that it was not going to end there. While we've seen tremendous strength and resilience since those first days, we also know that the loss, disruption, and uncertainty that follow can continue to take a deep toll over time, not only physically and financially, but also emotionally and in terms of mental health. And while most people who survived the fires and had private insurance, that system, I think, was faced with the challenge of very rapidly expanding capacity. We began to hear from community members that they had mental health needs which were not really being met through their usual means. So we decided to set up bridge services while people waited to be able to access help through their usual channels. So I want you to please know that you are not alone, and that we, the Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health, are here to support you and your loved ones through services that include crisis counseling, peer support, and other assistance. In fact, starting tomorrow, July 15th, we will begin a new series of therapy sessions at Loma Alta Park, located at 3330 North Lincoln Avenue in Altadena. And these group meetings will be held every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at varying times. The sessions are free to attend and will cover how to cope, as well as emotionally and mentally rebuild after a disaster. Our trauma-informed therapists will share mindfulness and stress relief techniques and allow spaces for open discussions. We have an electronic info sheet that can go out from Supervisor Barger's office, and we'll also be posting this onto our DMH website if you or someone you know would be interested in attending. As I mentioned, our Department of Mental Health teams were deployed to the impacted communities in Altadena and Pacific Palisades from the very start of the wildfires. During those early days and weeks, we delivered services such as crisis counseling, family reunification, same-day mental health clinic appointments, etc. From that initial emergency deployment, which ended in mid-February, we served thousands of impacted residents. When it was time for residents to return to their neighborhoods and communities, we deployed a team of mental health professionals to be there and provide emotional support for nearly 19,000 people. To meet the needs of the youngest residents affected by the disaster, the Department of Mental Health collaborated with other county agencies to host care camps, offering a structured and safe place for kids and their families to receive resources and emotional medical support. Today, we remain present in Altadena to support long-term recovery at the Survivors Service location, where our mental health teams are there to provide trauma-informed care, crisis services, and case management. And I'd like to express my gratitude to the staff who have been instrumental in ensuring the community's needs are met, and a special thank you to those staff who were also fire impacted themselves, but still chose to serve. These dedicated staff have planned and hosted several group therapy sessions after the fires, including an entire series that ran from March through May at Octavia's Bookshelf in Pasadena. And as mentioned earlier, we will be hosting a new series starting tomorrow at Altaloma Park. The path to healing is not the same for everyone. And I do want to offer that we have clinics located near Altadena in Arcadia and Covina, where you can drop in and receive services. You can also visit our website at dmh.lacounty.gov for more information about what resources are available to help you and your loved ones. And of course, our 24/7 helpline is always available at 800-854-7771 for crisis response, mental health support, and all kinds of information. Healing takes time, and we are committed to walking this path with you. Together as a community, we can support one another and work towards recovery. So thank you again for this time to share about these resources with you.
Thank you, and we'll now transition to the question and answer portion of our evening. The following questions were submitted ahead of tonight's community meeting, and we will answer them and as many of the Q&A questions as we can. As a reminder, you can find answers to frequently asked questions on recovery.lacounty.gov/Altadena. Zoom participants can also submit questions in real time using the Q&A function found at the bottom of their screens. For those of you who are on YouTube and would like to submit questions, I encourage you to scan the QR code on your screen and join us via Zoom. Our first question is for Public Works. The Army Corps has already cleared out burnt bushes and fire debris. If our insurance company has a fire debris removal category, when will Public Works start billing?
Great, I'll take that one, Madeline. Thank you. So that will vary based on the individual insurance policy. So the county will work with the property owner's insurance carrier to work out the debris removal payments. We're waiting for data from Army Corps of Engineers on the cost per property. And the earliest date for policies that do have a specific fire debris line item would be this fall. But if a policy only has an item for rebuilding, then the construction would need to be concluded prior to identifying any available remaining funds.
Thank you. And our next question is for Rob with the Department of Insurance. The premium on my destroyed property has raised. How do we get the insurance company to adjust the premium to reflect the destroyed properties?
Sure. Thank you for the question. So it could be possible in this scenario that the homeowner was given a renewal based on the property before it had been destroyed, and that just kind of went out automatically. So In most cases, especially on a property that has been destroyed or suffered a total loss, we would recommend talking to your insurance company or your insurance broker to reevaluate the policy and maybe change the coverage that you might not need during the rebuilding process, adjust your coverage limits and so forth for the situation it is now, not what it was previously. So yeah, we would recommend talking to your insurance company or talking to your broker, having them reevaluate their property and reevaluate the coverage that you might actually need going forward until the rebuild is complete.
Thank you, Rob. Our next question, I believe, is for Public Works. What does the county expect from the owners for the, quote, maintenance of a burnt lot post initial removal of the ash and debris by the Army Corps, end quote, in the interim of rebuilding or the sale of a property?
So I'm trying to understand the question there is just, is anything required after the debris is removed before permit?
Correct.
Nope, we can go through the whole permitting process. So we just need to make sure that debris is cleared. And so there's, once the debris is cleared, we can issue those permits and work can commence.
Thank you, Kiara. Another question for, I believe, for Public Works. It could also be for regional planning. What is the plan or timeline for those who opted out but have not yet cleared their properties or pulled debris permits?
Great. I don't think we have Luis on today to take this abatement question. Anybody on the call? The timelines? I might have to get back to you with that one, Madeline, for next week.
Great, thank you. We'll save the question for next week. Our next question is for SoCal Edison. Dave, can you explain the process for requesting temporary construction electricity? And Kiara, if you'd like to add anything to that.
Yes, for those who are in the planning stages of getting temporary power installed, you can reach out to actually set up appointments at our one-stop shop there in Altadena. We're working in conjunction with the county right now, but you can go online at Disaster Recovery Energize Edison, which you can go through that link, and then it'll let you establish an appointment with a planner as well as one of our energy advisors.
Great, and I'll just add to that that yes, there is a temporary, or there's a power permit within Epic LA that you can apply for. You will be asked for the use, but there's a variety of uses that we can install or issue temp power for construction, for maintaining the site, pool maintenance, security cameras, construction. And so there is a application for that in Epic LA, and they can help you with that at the One Stop office over at 464 West Woodbury.
Thank you both, and you actually answered the next question, which was, is there a table at the One Stop? Moving on, the question reads, I followed the process for fee waiver and was asked to submit it when submitting plan check and building and safety permits. Why would I have to submit the fee waiver form again if I've already submitted it?
Great question, and I'll confirm that it only needs to be submitted once. So planning are receiving all of those forms, and I just appreciate the patience while we work through making sure that all other permitting departments do receive those from planning. We're working out the details to make sure that we have the properties flagged in Epic LA so that you are not asked for that again. So you should not be asked for it more than once, and we'll get that resolved here quickly so that that is the case.
Thank you. Lots of questions for you today, Kiara. The next one is, if you're planning to install an RV on your property during the rebuild, what agencies or departments would I need to coordinate with for electricity, water, sewage, and is there a permit required?
Great, and yes, absolutely. So under our recovery.lacounty.gov site, we do have a page for temporary housing. So if you wanted to install an RV or a manufactured home or something as temporary housing, we do have a permit process for that. So you file one application with the county. Planning will initiate that review for the location of what's proposed and where it's located on the site. And then they will internally route it over to public health to ensure that there's sewer and water. And then they will route it over to public works to ensure, again, all those utilities are there, and will issue permits for the utility connections. So there's a whole permit process. We do reflect on our dashboards how many temporary housing permits have been applied for and issued. And again, you can find more information at recovery.lacounty.gov on our rebuilding site under temporary housing.
Thank you. And another one for you. Do the pre-approved ADU plans include architectural and structural plans and approvals, T24 approvals? In other words, what is not included?
Great. So yeah, when the pre-approved plans come in, we do substantially approve the architectural and structural. So again, planning start by reviewing the floor plan and the elevations. And then when you have full building plans, which is how you're going to build it, the structural, all that gets reviewed and approved. And so the pre-approved plan package has everything from this floor plan, elevations, structural, all substantially approved. And then when somebody opts to submit a pre-approved plan, then we just look at the site adaptation. So at that time, planning and public works will review the site plan and also the Title 24 energy calcs as they're specific to the site and the orientation. So that will make the submittal, when you utilize a pre-approved plan, go very fast, because again, we're only going to be reviewing for the site adaptation, including the Title 24 energy requirements.
Thank you. Next question is for our water agency representatives that are on. Will refunds be issued for the expense we had to pay to the water companies for a required Fireflow test?
So for Lincoln Avenue Water Company, we only charge for the cost of providing the service. So for that reason, any well server fire flows that we have provided will not be included in any type of reimbursement.
Thank you. And we have a question for Kevin with DCBA. Is the LA County Household Relief Grant still live? And if we haven't heard back, where should we check, or what should we do to follow up?
Sure. Thanks for the question. So the LA County Household Relief Grant it's no longer accepting applications, but so that part of the process is fully complete. Most of the funding has been awarded, or at least notifications have gone out. So it's not completely 100% done yet, though I would expect that you would probably have received a notification by now if you've been awarded. So I would recommend that if someone hasn't received notification yet, and I did notice the note in the Q&A that said they did go online. So you can go online, log into your account at lacounty.relieffund.com to check the status. If you don't have any information there, then I would recommend that you contact the support line for that, which is 888-788-0335. That's the support line. It's available Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, where you can find out your particular individual status. And if that, all else fails, then you can send an email to our department, and then we can engage that and try and follow up on that as well. So try the support line at 888-788-0335 during regular business hours, and they should be able to give you an update.
Thank you, Kevin. Our next question is for Public Works. It says last week there was a statement from Public Works that a property had to be maintained for after the initial clearance by the Army Corps to avoid receiving a citing for a nuisance of property. Can you expand on that?
And it looks like, is that related to whether fencing is required and things like that?
I believe it's just for general maintenance of the property.
Got it. So I'm not aware of that again, but I'll make sure that we come back with a summary abatement update next week.
Thank you. And Dr. Quick, we have a question about air quality monitoring. I don't know if you would have the answer, but it is directed at AQMD, and the question is whether or not they're still monitoring the air quality.
Yes, thank you for that question. Some of the extended monitoring that was being done has stopped. There is still some air quality monitoring that's taking place while the cleanup activities continue. And South Coast Air Quality Management District does have stationary monitors across the entire county that continue to monitor. So there is a significant number of monitoring activities still going on. We'll take a second also to point people to the LA DPH's website. We have a lot of folks in the area outside of both AQMD that are completing air monitoring still in the area, and those are some of our academic partners. So if you go on to that post-fire assessment plan and filter by air quality, you can get a lot of information there from the various entities that continue to do air monitoring. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Quick. And we have a question for the Department of Economic Opportunity, and it reads, what are you doing to notify Altadena businesses directly about the Shop Local campaign?
Yeah, thank you for that question. We've been going to the Altadena Chamber office meetings. We're also emailing them. We have a list of businesses based on our business and worker relief fund. So we'll email them to make sure that they're being alerted of this opportunity. In addition to that, we're also working with other neighboring cities to also promote the campaign.
I'll just add, for those that don't know, we had over 7,000 businesses who were impacted by the fires apply to the LA Region Fund. So we'll be reaching out directly to everyone who applied. We'll also be working, in addition to what Layla said, with our SBA partners, LACTA partners who recently released the loan fund, and a number of community groups on the ground. So as well, if you have ideas for how we can best engage with upcoming events and listservs and ways, we are always open to finding new ways to engage with the community, and certainly can come out in person and meet with folks as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And a follow-up question on the Shop Local. If I have signed up but have not yet heard anything, when should I expect to hear back?
As of right now, we're focusing on signups, and then I probably in the next couple of weeks or so, people will start getting notified, because we are trying to start promoting businesses as well as get boots on the ground to kind of connect with businesses. So I think probably I want to say a couple of more weeks. For sure by next month, you'll start seeing a lot more engagement. But right now, we're really focusing just on businesses signing up.
Okay, thank you for clarifying, Layla. A question for Dave with SoCal Edison. What, if anything, is SCE doing to speed up the approval of solar plans?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I'm going to have to take that question back to our operations and get an answer back to this group. I just don't have an answer for that at this time. I know that we're accepting applications for solar, rooftop solar applications, but at this time, I don't know what the process is on the expedited speed up of that at this moment, but I'll be glad to get an answer back to this group.
Great, and I'll just add in again that with that new executive order last week, rebuilds will not be required to install solar, just be solar ready. And then Madeline Luis is on now that could maybe answer, I could remind us of those couple of questions about what is the plan or timeline for those who opted out, but have not yet cleared their properties or pulled debris permits.
Yes, and that is exactly the question, Luis. Go ahead.
Perfect.
Well, so those deadlines have actually passed. Folks had until June 1st to pull a fire debris removal permit, and until June 30th to clear their property from fire ash and debris. So folks who failed to do that, we are now looking at moving forward with abatement. Letters should have gone out to property owners or will be going out this week, notifying those who the county is moving forward with abating. We're starting with residential properties. I mentioned, I think, last time that there were a group of commercial properties that had applied for special inclusion in the FEMA program, but had been rejected at the end of June. And so with those property owners, those commercial properties, we gave them until July 31st to complete the work because most of them had been in limbo for the entire month of June. Part of the reason why they hadn't begun the work is that Army Corps would not remove debris from a property if the work had already started. So, being that they had not been able to move forward until they got a determination from FEMA, which came in at the end of June, those commercial property owners, which includes some multifamily housing, will have until July 31st to complete it. I hope that answers the question.
It does, Luis. Thank you. And then we had another question about what property owners need to do in terms of maintaining their property to avoid receiving a citation as a nuisance property.
Yes. So whether the debris was removed by a private contractor for those who opted out, or by the Army Corps, as a property owner, you got to make sure that all the BMPs that I mentioned, the straw socks that are put on the edge of the property to prevent runoff into the storm drains, those have to be maintained. You also have to make sure that the fencing that was put up around your property, around existing pools that had been drained, is also kept up. So if we start seeing, for example, chain link fence that has been cut open in areas, we will begin to notify you of those issues that need to be corrected. I think the other big thing is, while we're currently in the summer dry season, depending on when you begin to do your construction, we may start running into issues with weeds. We want to make sure that weeds are maintained and abated so that we don't have a lot of parcels without any construction and overgrown weeds. The other thing is just making sure that you keep an eye on trash that is dumped into the property. We take care of the trash that is dumped within the public right of way. So we want to make sure that periodically somebody is checking up on the property just to make sure that those BMPs especially are in place and that weeds are under control and that you continue to keep your property secure.
Thank you, Luis, for hopping on and getting us the answers to those questions. We have time for one more question, and this is for Public Works or the water agencies that are on. Can the Fireflow report be used for homes that are served by the same hydrant? This would save homeowners hundreds of dollars.
Do we have any representatives on from fire department?
Kira, that's probably a Public Works answer as opposed to a water company answer.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think fire department are working so that we won't have to do fire availability flows for each specific project, right? That we have them in for areas. And so that is in the works with fire department.
Okay, and I think we have Chief Al that is on.
Yeah, can you repeat that? Caught me by surprise.
Sure, it says, can the Fireflow report be used for all homes that are served by the same hydrant?
So it some may be able to. It's a tricky question because it depends on the distance of the home from the hydrants. Pressures might change. We are certainly looking at other options if that hydrant doesn't provide enough water flow. But we haven't received all of the approvals yet, and also the statistics and the data. We want to make sure if we're going to make any allowances for low GPM hydrant flows or low PSI hydrant flows, that we do all of our analysis ahead of time, so we don't give out bad information before it's completely reviewed.
Thank you, Chief. And I see that we have Dave's hand up. Dave, did you have an answer to one of our questions?
I just wanted to reference the question about the solar application. It would probably be best for customers to call our 1-800 number, which I put in the chat, which is 1-800-250-7339. That way you can get access to a planner and an energy advisor that would probably help you navigate any solar applications that you'd like to submit and get it implemented.
Thank you, Dave. And that concludes all the time we have for today. For more information, visit your local disaster recovery center or one-stop shop, or visit us at recovery.lacounty.gov /Altadena. Signing off.